Hello, my name is Lindsey and I am a synergetic play therapist at Play Therapy Connection in Littleton, Colorado. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the word interoception. Now you may have never heard this word before, and if that's the case, that's completely fine. Interoception is actually our eighth sense, but it isn't really widely taught or discussed. Interoception is a term that identifies our felt sense or our ability to identify what's going on inside of our bodies at any given time. Some of these sensations might include hunger, thirst, fatigue, anger, anxiety, or even needing to use the restroom. Author and psychiatrist Bessel van der Kolk has a great quote. He said, "If you are not aware of what your body needs, then you can't take care of it." Our interoceptive system can either be over-responsive or under-responsive. I want to name that many clients and parents have a really hard time with their interoceptive awareness in their bodies. And this can be for multiple reasons. Maybe for a particular reason related to trauma or something that they've learned over time that it's not safe to tune into what's going on, so instead they will just tune out and ignore. Some parents also might think that somehow naming what's going on inside of them might make them look powerless or vulnerable in front of their children, and that's something they're just not comfortable with. In our culture, many adults were never modeled these skills from parents or caregivers, and that's okay. This requires a paradigm shift, and it can take some time. In sessions with clients, I like to model my own interoceptive awareness. This can look several different ways. It can look like naming how I noticed my heart rate increasing when they were playing a certain way with a certain toy, or noticing that my palms all of a sudden got really sweaty. Depending on the client, I also might even say, "Oh, hi," and name that felt sensation, such as anxiety. "Oh, hi, anxiety. I noticed that you're here because now all of a sudden I feel like my palms are sweaty, my thoughts are racing in my head, I can't focus, my whole body feels jittery. I'm going to notice that you're here. Thanks for showing up. I'm going to sit in that for one moment." I also love to ask my clients to differentiate between the severity of two different things. For example, how do you know when you're tired and when you're exhausted? Or how do you know when you're excited about something and when you're like over the moon freaking out? I also love to give parents coaching in this particular area. When I meet with them, I like to ask them to think of 2 instances throughout the week that they notice whatever kind of sensation going on in their bodies. This might have been during an argument with a loved one, or a struggle related to online learning, or maybe a conversation that you had with your boss. Whatever it is, it's important for caregivers to begin noticing these cues that our bodies are giving us. Once they begin to notice these sensations more readily, I ask them to begin to name it out loud authentically in a way that feels right for them. Once they've got that skill down, then I like for parents and caregivers to really grow to encourage their children to do the same and identify at least 1 or 2 body cues that they also might be sensing in that moment. That allows and invites our children to first watch their parents and caregivers model this behavior for them, and then in turn do the same. We know that kids learn best through observation, so that's why we try to do it this way. After that, I encourage parents and caregivers to normalize that experience by saying, "Okay, no matter how you feel in this moment, I'm here with you and I'm gonna sit in that with you." And just begin to be present and be reflecting on what they're noticing in that moment without the immediate feel for either tuning it out or fixing it. Some deeper skill building that I might go into with certain parents and caregivers would be then to decide, okay, I'm noticing this body cue. Okay, I'm gonna sit with that. Now what do I do with that? This could look like saying, okay, I'm going to take 10 deep breaths right now. Other tools might be counting backwards, listening to music, getting up and doing jumping jacks, getting a drink of water. Whatever it is, it needs to feel right for that particular person. Another common homework assignment I like to give to parents and caregivers is to spend at least 5 minutes on a daily basis with your kiddo identifying body cues related to just normal everyday tasks, such as brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, washing your hands, cooking dinner. What do you notice in that moment when you're doing these daily tasks? When you're washing your hands, what does the water feel like on your skin? Some other ways to really build and strengthen interoceptive awareness could be doing yoga, maybe doing meditation as a family, or any other numerous mindfulness tools that you can find on the internet or on YouTube. Eventually, kiddos will begin to start naming things out loud and learning to identify their own need for regulation response. That's the ultimate goal here, is to, over time, model these behaviors so that children are able to then eventually do them on their own. Also, feel free to speak with your child's therapist about interoception and see if there's anything that they recommend you incorporating into your time at home with your child. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen, and I hope that you found something beneficial from it. Thanks a lot.